Serbia, a nation historically caught between East and West, has just made a decision that's left NATO scrambling for answers. But why is Serbia pivoting away from Western alliances? And how could this redefine the global balance of power? This is more than just a headline. It's a shift that could reshape Europe, and its impact could reach your doorstep. Serbia's pivot to strengthen ties with BRICS nations and deepen its economic partnerships with China and Russia has sent a clear signal. It's no longer waiting for Western approval. This decision comes amid mounting frustrations with the European Union's slow progress on Serbia's membership application, which has lingered for over a decade. In October 2023, Serbia signed a $1.9 billion infrastructure deal with China under the Belt and Road Initiative, a move that directly counters NATO's efforts to consolidate its influence in the Balkans. According to a report in the Financial Times, NATO leaders are concerned about Serbia becoming a gateway for Chinese influence in Europe. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg expressed serious concerns during a recent summit, warning that Serbia's actions could destabilize regional unity. But Serbia's actions aren't just about frustration with the West. They're calculated moves to diversify its alliances in a world moving toward multipolarity. Could this mark the start of a broader Balkan realignment? For Serbia, BRICS represents immediate opportunities, while the EU offers distant promises. According to an Ipsos survey from October 2023, only 35% of Serbians now support EU integration, a sharp decline from 71% in 2009. The reasons? Economic stagnation, sovereignty concerns, and the EU's insistence on resolving the Kosovo dispute as a prerequisite for membership. In contrast, BRICS nations, particularly China, offer tangible benefits without such conditions. China's $2.1 billion investment in Serbia's mining and energy sectors in 2023 alone created over 12,000 jobs. This includes the expansion of the Bor copper mine, a project hailed as a lifeline by Serbian Energy Minister Dubravka Đedović-Negre. Chinese ambassador to Serbia Chen Bo highlighted the mutual respect underpinning the partnership. We don't ask Serbia to compromise its sovereignty. We focus on shared development. This rhetoric resonates deeply in a country wary of Western demands. But is Serbia's reliance on BRICS sustainable in the long term? Please like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us grow. Thank you. In October 2023, Serbia finalized a free trade agreement with China, giving Serbian goods tariff-free access to a market of 1.4 billion people. This agreement positions Serbia as China's economic bridge to Europe, but it's also drawn ire from the EU, which views the deal as undermining its regulatory standards. European Trade Commissioner Valdis Dombrovskis criticized the agreement, warning that it could create a backdoor for Chinese goods to flood EU markets. However, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić defended the deal, stating, "We are acting in the best interest of our people. Economic diversification is our right, not a privilege." Economists estimate the deal could boost Serbia's GDP by 1.8% annually, but it also raises questions. Can Serbia navigate the geopolitical tightrope of pleasing both China and the EU, or is a clash inevitable? Kosovo remains a pivotal issue in Serbia's relationships with the West. The EU and NATO demand Serbia's recognition of Kosovo's independence as a condition for further integration, but this remains a red line for Belgrade. In 2023, tensions in northern Kosovo escalated into violence, further straining relations between Serbia and NATO peacekeeping forces. China and Russia, however, have supported Serbia's stance on Kosovo. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov reiterated Moscow's backing during a joint press conference in Belgrade, stating, "Serbia has every right to defend its territorial integrity." Meanwhile, China's refusal to recognize Kosovo bolsters Serbia's position on the global stage. Kosovo isn't just a territorial dispute, it's the emotional and political cornerstone of Serbia's identity. Could this issue push Serbia further into the arms of BRICS? China's expanding footprint in Serbia is altering the balance of power in the Balkans. Projects like the Belgrade-Budapest high-speed railway, expected to cut travel time by 50%, symbolize Beijing's long-term vision for the region. This economic alignment also shifts regional dynamics. Neighboring countries like Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina, which are more reliant on EU funding, now face a dilemma. Should they follow Serbia's lead or double down on their Western alliances? While the EU still accounts for over 60% of Serbia's trade, China is closing the gap, with bilateral trade reaching $6.5 billion in 2023, up from $3.9 billion in 2019. This trend has geopolitical ramifications. Can the EU and NATO afford to lose influence in such a strategically vital region? Serbia's geopolitical balancing act is nothing short of remarkable. It continues military cooperation with NATO while maintaining close ties with Russia and deepening its BRICS partnerships. This strategy allows Serbia to extract maximum benefits from all sides, but it's also fraught with risks. For instance, Serbia's decision to renew a $3 billion natural gas deal with Russia in defiance of EU sanctions showcases its willingness to challenge Western norms. At the same time, its participation in NATO's Partnership for Peace program signals that it isn't entirely abandoning Western frameworks. Is this strategy sustainable, or will Serbia eventually be forced to choose a side? Serbia's pivot is a wake-up call for NATO and the EU. It underscores the growing appeal of alternative alliances and the limitations of Western influence. NATO's focus on military cohesion in the Balkans is being undermined by Serbia's economic and political alignment with BRICS. A report from the Brookings Institution warns that Serbia's moves could embolden other Balkan states to reconsider their alliances, potentially unraveling decades of Western efforts to stabilize the region. But is this a short-term strategy or a signal of a broader global shift away from Western hegemony? Serbia's actions have ripple effects beyond its borders. Montenegro, North Macedonia, and even Albania are watching closely. If Serbia's partnerships with BRICS and China yield tangible benefits, it could inspire neighboring nations to follow suit. This raises strategic questions for NATO. How can it maintain its foothold in the Balkans if member states begin exploring alternative alliances? A weakened NATO presence in the region could have long-term consequences for Europe's security architecture. Is the Balkans becoming a new front line in the global competition for influence? Economic diversification is at the heart of Serbia's strategy. By expanding trade with BRICS and attracting Chinese investment, Serbia is reducing its dependence on EU markets and fostering greater resilience. Short-term benefits include job creation and infrastructure development. For example, the Chinese-funded Smederevo steel plant has not only revived a struggling industry but also added over 6,000 jobs. Long-term benefits could include positioning Serbia as a regional hub for trade between Europe and Asia. However, diversification comes with risks. Can Serbia maintain its independence while deepening its reliance on BRICS? Public sentiment in Serbia is quite a mix of pragmatism and nostalgia. A 2023 Balkan Barometer survey found that 59% of Serbians view China as a trustworthy partner, compared to just 28% for the European Union. This shift, you see, reflects growing disillusionment with the West. Citizens praise China's investments in infrastructure and job creation, while skepticism toward the European Union grows over unfulfilled promises. These perspectives really underscore why Serbia's government feels emboldened to pursue alternative alliances. The rewards of aligning with BRICS are clear economic growth, energy security, and greater diplomatic support. But the risks are equally significant. Over-reliance on BRICS could limit Serbia's autonomy and expose it to geopolitical volatility. For example, how would Serbia navigate a scenario where BRICS nations disagree on key policies? Would it face economic consequences for siding with one over the other? These are the uncertainties that Belgrade must consider as it charts its future. Serbia's growing alignment with BRICS and China underscores critical weaknesses in the EU's strategy for engaging Balkan nations. Decades of stalled membership negotiations and inflexible demands, such as the recognition of Kosovo, have eroded trust in the European project. A 2023 Balkan Barometer survey revealed that only 35% of Serbians support EU integration, a significant drop from 71% in 2009. While the EU remains Serbia's largest trading partner, accounting for over 60% of its trade, its failure to deliver concrete benefits is driving Belgrade toward alternative partnerships, offering immediate gains. If the EU wants to retain influence in the region, it must overhaul its approach, focusing on rapid, results-oriented policies before it loses Serbia, and potentially the Balkans, for good. Serbia's ability to engage with NATO on defense while fostering economic partnerships with BRICS and China highlights a bold, multifaceted strategy. This dual approach allows Serbia to secure benefits from multiple power blocks without fully committing to any. For instance, it maintains military cooperation with NATO's Partnership for Peace, while advancing key economic agreements, such as the $2 billion energy deal with Russia in 2023 and a free trade agreement with China. However, managing such diverse interests is fraught with challenges. As global powers demand greater alignment, Serbia risks being drawn into conflicting obligations. Could this strategy serve as a model for nations navigating a fragmented global order? Or will it prove too precarious to sustain? Serbia's alignment with BRICS and China signals a broader challenge to the dominance of Western-led alliances. By embracing alternative partnerships, Serbia is reshaping the way smaller nations position themselves on the global stage. Neighboring countries like Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina are closely watching the impact of Serbia's economic deals, such as the $2.1 billion in Chinese investment that has transformed its infrastructure. If Serbia's actions yield long-term benefits, other Balkan nations could follow, threatening NATO's hold on the region. As more countries reconsider their alliances, Serbia's decisions may mark the beginning of a significant global shift, forcing traditional powers to adapt to a more decentralized world. We're glad you're enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe. Check out another video that is now on your screen.